If you're a designer in 2026, there's a question you can't ignore. What skills should you actually learn to stay valuable? Because the design industry is changing faster than ever. AI can generate images in seconds. It can create logos. It can write copy. It can generate layouts, concepts, animations, and even 3D assets. So, does that mean designers are becoming less important? Not exactly. In fact, I think the opposite is happening. But the skills that make a designer valuable are changing. And in this video, I'm going to explain 8 skills that I believe designers should focus on in 2026. Let's start with the most obvious one: AI-assisted design. You don't need to become an AI engineer, but you absolutely need to understand how to work with AI. The important skill isn't simply knowing how to generate an image. Anyone can type a prompt. The real skill is knowing what to ask for, how to develop an idea, how to control the result, and how to combine AI with your own design decisions. Think of AI as a creative assistant, not a replacement for your creativity. The second skill is creative direction. This might become one of the most valuable skills in the entire design industry. Why? Because when everyone has access to powerful tools, execution becomes cheaper. The person who can open Photoshop faster won't necessarily win. The person who knows what should be created, why it should be created, and what emotion it should create in the audience will have the advantage. Creative direction is about making decisions, choosing the right concept, choosing the right visual language, choosing what to remove, and knowing when an idea simply doesn't work. The third skill is motion design. Static design is no longer enough for many digital experiences. Brands are moving. Social media is moving. Websites are becoming more interactive. And short-form video has completely changed how people consume visual information. You don't necessarily need to become a Hollywood animator, but understanding timing, movement, transitions, kinetic typography, and visual storytelling can make your design work dramatically more powerful. The fourth skill is 3D. And you don't need to become a professional 3D artist overnight. You simply need to understand the fundamentals: modeling, lighting, materials, cameras, composition, rendering. Even basic 3D knowledge can give a graphic designer an entirely new visual language. And with AI making 3D workflows faster, understanding the fundamentals could become even more valuable. The fifth skill is design systems. A lot of designers are still focused on creating individual pieces. One poster, one Instagram post, one logo, one website. But modern brands need consistency across hundreds of touchpoints. A design system helps you create that consistency. It gives you rules for typography, color, spacing, components, layouts, motion, and visual identity. And more importantly, it teaches you to think beyond a single design. You start thinking like a system designer. The sixth skill is UX and UI thinking. Even if you don't want to become a UX designer, understanding how people interact with digital products is extremely useful. Why does someone click this button? Why do they ignore that one? Why does one interface feel simple while another feels confusing? Good design isn't only about looking beautiful. It's also about helping people understand what to do next. The seventh skill is visual storytelling. And honestly, this is one of the most underrated skills in design. You can have incredible typography, amazing 3D, perfect colors, and still create something boring. Because beautiful design doesn't automatically create attention. Story does. You need to understand how to create curiosity, how to build tension, how to guide attention, and how to communicate an idea visually. This is especially important because designers are no longer creating only for people who look at a poster for 5 seconds. They are creating for audiences that scroll through hundreds of pieces of content every day. And finally, the eighth skill is communication. You might be thinking, why would communication be a design skill? Because being a great designer is not enough if you can't explain your decisions. You need to communicate with clients, with creative directors, with developers, with marketers, and sometimes with people who know absolutely nothing about design. You need to explain why your idea works. You need to defend good decisions. And you also need to know when to listen and change your idea. So, if we look at the future of design, I don't think the winning designer will simply be the person who knows the most software. It will be the person who combines multiple skills. Design. motion, 3D, systems, UX, storytelling, and communication. Because AI is making execution easier. And when execution becomes easier, ideas become more important. Taste becomes more important. Strategy becomes more important. And creativity becomes more important. So don't try to compete with AI by becoming faster at clicking buttons. Learn how to think better. Learn how to communicate better. Learn how to tell better stories. And learn how to use AI, 3D, motion, and technology as extensions of your creativity. Because the future of design probably won't be about humans versus AI. It will be about designers who know how to work with AI versus designers who don't. And that difference could define the next generation of creative professionals.